with a great knockout percentage, and on the other side with 36 knockouts is Phil Jackson in his 38 wins, and guy that now fights out of Miami, Florida, is in for quite a tough night tonight. Let's meet him officially. Upstairs, our ring announcer. Here's Mark Biro.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee, Cedric Kushner Promotions and matchmaker Bill Benton, in association with Big Fights Promotions and Corona Beer, La Cerveza Más Fina, presents the heavyweight explosion main event of the evening, 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. Your ring officials assigned by the Tennessee State Boxing Commission. Your judges at ringside are, all from Nashville, Richard King, Herman Putman, and Bill Clancy. Your referee for this event, also from Nashville, the pride of Nashville, Danny Jones. Introducing now the principals first. In the blue corner to my left, wearing the black trunks, gold trim, he weighs in at 225 pounds. His professional record, 38 victories, 5 defeats. He has 36 wins coming by way of knockout. He hails from Miami, Florida. Here is Phil Action Jackson. His opponent in the red corner, wearing the maroon colored trunks with white trim. He weighs 229 pounds. His professional record, 31 victories, 1 defeat. He has 21 wins by way of knockout. He is a 4-time Golden Gloves champion of Tennessee. He hails from Nashville, Tennessee. Here is Keith Mcknight, 10 rounds heavyweight.
Well, the two fighters now have gotten their instructions. The ups and downs of getting themselves in the ropes and in the ring have come and gone, and now we're ready to go. Danny Jones, our referee, summons us in the ring, and we are off on our main event. Good look at Phil Jackson against Keith Mcknight. Jackson again with a pedigree that has 36 knockouts. Mcknight trying to prove himself with a 31-1 record. And you'll hear this crowd kind of applauding virtually every shot Mcknight will throw tonight, Bob.
And justifiably so. I'll tell you something. I always say, Keith has got to, box and not get through these early rounds and stuff. But really, he's showing his power so much with these guys. He's a quick guy. I can't believe that this kid was a cruiserweight at one time. I mean, how he ever got 190 pounds over that big frame. And there you see Jackson loop the right hand, got Mcknight's attention. This is by far the toughest fight for Keith. But there's no place to have it like home.
Mcknight does weigh 229, but again at 6'6". A lot of frame, but Phil Jackson is looking at right now. Jackson at 6'1", weighed 225 for the fight. Jackson is feeling it out now, but that will be only a matter of time till he starts living up to his moniker. As here comes Mcknight.
And there was that uppercut that Mcknight had so much success with. He tried it from the outside. That's a dangerous punch, though, Sam. You come in flying in there with a right uppercut, you could get hit with a left hook right on the chin. No defense at all.
And Jackson possesses an excellent left hook, by the way. Jackson at 33. Still looks like he's done a good job in the gym. Amateur record 150-10 and a 3-time Florida Golden Glove champion. And a bronze medalist in the Olympic trials.
He's been down there. I mean, he was literally 1 inch from knocking out Lennox Lewis with a big right hand back in Atlantic City a few years ago, and Lewis got him later on in the fight. But this kid comes to fight, and he can hurt you with both hands.
One of his earliest wins, as a matter of fact, his first loss was a 4-round knockout at the hands of Razor Ruddick. He thought that Razor might not be taking him too seriously after losing a couple of fights to Mike Tyson, but apparently he did. And of course, the Lennox Lewis fight ended in 8. Chris Bird, he lost in 12.
It was the fight with Ruddock. He was, he'd beaten 10 or 12 guys down in Florida, and then they put him in a big fight. He wasn't really ready for it. But the Lennox Lewis fight, he really had his moments in it. It's all experience, It's hard to get the medium range when you want to develop a fighter. You want to take the medium step, the intermediate step. You don't want to take the giant step, but sometimes you don't know till the night's over with it. That was the giant step.
Well, Mcknight just kind of attacks, has those quick steps forward. Again, he may get himself, as Bob pointed out, a little bit out of control and maybe open for a shot from Jackson. But right now, his fans here in Nashville have certainly appreciated the effort. Keith Mcknight against Phil Jackson in our main event of the heavyweight explosion. We're going to hit quickly in the Keith Mcknight corner here between rounds.
If he bends over some with the uppercut, all right? Just be a little more, a little more aggressive with the left hand and drop the right hand behind it. I don't think he can do it with the power if you drop the hand, okay? You don't field him out. Just get a little more aggressive with the left hand. If he bends
Other side, Phil Jackson. This guy's been through this enough times to know. First round is certainly one that you're going to try to make your mark in and then do the damage in the second.
I don't want to, only one hand. You want to be both. Baby. Go with me. If you done. Yeah, hold the hand. Now who? 2 or 3 hands. Out.
It's always great to see what a fighter does when he comes out in the second round after a first round of basically feeling out you can get away with and what you're going to get hit with. Mcknight in the room got hit by Jackson.
Big right hand shot. Hit Mcknight right on the chin now. He's taking his time. He's taking the count.
Mcknight down on one knee, up at the count of 8. But Phil Jackson has done some damage early in round 2. And down he goes again. A 3 knockdown rule is in effect here in Tennessee. The second time down for Mcknight. Well, Phil Jackson has found a home for that right hand. Here's Mcknight up for 8 again. Another knockdown and the fight is over. Jackson will try to finish it. Mcknight's going to try to hang on. They'll break him out of the corner. Jackson like a hunter, going after the prey. Down twice in the round. Loading the big right hand. Here comes Mcknight back.
But Mcknight shouldn't try to end this fight. He's got to get through this round, Sam. He can't get in there and exchange punches. He needs to just take his time. He's been down twice, but he's recovered. He can't exchange punches with Jackson. He's just got to get out of here. This box, hold him whenever he gets a chance.
Big right hand again. Mcknight caught that one on the shoulders and quickly covers up. What a turn of event this has been. This large crowd mostly paying to see their main man, Mcknight, and he's been down twice in the second round.
You got to pick his hands up, Sam. He's going to get hit with that right hand again.
Well, Jackson just missed one.
Yeah, and he picked his hand up well and boxed. It seems like he's recovered.
Back up on his toes again, Mcknight. Out in the center of the ring where Jackson clocked him twice. Phil Jackson didn't come to this fight with 36 knockouts without an arsenal, and you've seen part of it.
Mcknight must be in some kind of condition to go down twice like that from those big punches and recover like he has.
Answers with a right hand of his own, but again, Wiley threw a left hand that left him open for the right from Jackson again.
Mcknight's showing a lot of fire in here tonight, Sam. I mean, he's been down twice, and he's standing right there wanting to fight with this guy.
Closing seconds of a second round that had seen Phil Jackson on the right put down Keith Mcknight twice in the second round. Mcknight appears to have recovered and will use the 1 minute to regroup as we head for the third. Well, you got to feel this crowd is applauding him.
Come on, keep it down.
Perseverance and the stick to him. That's for this guy.
Wait.
Phil Jackson on one side, Mcknight on the other.
A couple things can happen here tonight, and one of them is certainly that Phil Jackson can win by knockout. But the other thing is that if Mcknight weathers this storm and comes back to win this fight, this is an incredible baptism under fire for him. He can't get any worse condition than he's in right now.
Let's take a look at those knockdowns.
A clean right hand, right over a low, lazy left, right there, right on the chin. He settled down in there, and the other one, he dropped him, and another right hand. He hits him with a left hook when he's already down, or it's certainly on his way down.
Boy, two big right hands by Jackson have certainly turned this fight as we head for the third round. Round 2 of the heavyweight explosion main event. Keith Mcknight against Phil Jackson. Mcknight on the left, name right across the waistband. Down twice in the second round, recovering. And fought well to the end of the round. Flipping left jab by Mcknight.
Keith Mcknight shows a lot of confidence here. You know something, Sam? When this third round opened up, Mcknight was all the way over into Jackson's corner, like, hey, come on, let's fight. Jackson's let Mcknight off the hook so far here.
He is indeed. Hasn't thrown many quality punches at all. A minute deep into the round. You know, Bob, you were thinking about that, even a cruiserweight weight on Mcknight. He started fighting at the age of 17, 6'6" and 165 pounds. You could almost throw a punch and go right through him, it appears. He's gained up to 229 and fights as a heavyweight now.
And he's grown into that, hasn't he?
He has indeed. 9 years of growth has got him where he is at 6'6", 229. Phil Jackson over half of his amateur wins were by knockout, 75. And again, a couple of knockdowns of Mcknight here in round 2. They're in the third. Oh, that long lead left hand to the body, that really opens him up, doesn't it, Bob?
Because I can't believe how economical Jackson is with his punches right now. He should be jumping on Mcknight and trying to rough him up. Mcknight's winning this round. Jackson.
Mcknight back with a couple of good right hands. He's hurt Jackson a bit, and now he tries to hang on. Jackson back with a good crisp left hook.
He better be careful. The only way to beat Jackson for Mcknight is just beat him from the outside. Use what you have. Box him from the outside. Don't try to overpower him. You can't make up for that 10-7 round you lost except by winning 3 rounds.
Jackson wild right.
Jackson's reduced to looking for one punch.
This indeed is a marvelous comeback by Mcknight. Literally caught with 2 big right hands down, and now in the third round, 20 seconds to go. Has almost come back with Jackson letting him off the hook to take a little control of the fight again. Closing seconds of the third. The ebbs and flows of a heavyweight explosion from Nashville, Tennessee tonight. Spagnola and I've been around the world with the Cedric Christian Sports Network.
When you push it back, you can't
Heavyweight explosion is stacking up against some of the better ones we've
You hear
got.
me? You got
You know, on
pushing back.
paper,
with
Sam,
your
this
left
looks like a heck of a
hand.
fight.
You got
Hard. Both these fights, you got to give credit to Bill Benton, who made these matches. You know, just getting heavyweights like this, both of them chance to win in the ring together is a tough deal.
Early on in that third round, keep in mind that was the right hand that put Mcknight down twice, and he retaliates with a good right hand of his own.
Right, that one was 6 inches short.
He just stayed right on top of Jackson, though. And an uppercut that scored well. So Mcknight finishing with a flurry at the end of round 3. Looks like he's fully recovered, heading for the 4th. They're set for 10 on the heavyweight explosion main event tonight. Keith Mcknight, 26-year-old, fighting out of Nashville, Tennessee. 33-year-old Phil Jackson in the black and the gold. A rather even first round. A second round found Mcknight on the seat of his pants twice. Came back with a tremendous third round, with Jackson not throwing a lot of punches.
Oh, and Mcknight's looking for that uppercut. That's what he sees when Jackson gets down there and bobs and weaves. That's what he's asking for. Well, Keith Mcknight's just got to box this guy. Take what he gives you. You know, box behind that jab. I can't believe that Phil Jackson isn't being a little bit more aggressive, considering the success he's had when he stepped in.
Mcknight just trying to keep his distance there and box on the outside. Jackson again.
That's what happens to a fighter, especially a puncher in a fight. You crack a guy, send him to the canvas with 2 clean shots. You hit him with, you start looking for one punch rather than doing the things that set up the shots. Got to get you in there. I mean, you look at the work rate of a Phil Jackson. He's bobbing and weaving. He's got his hands up well, but he's just not moving his hands. Now, he might win this fight by knockout, but it's going to be real difficult for him to win it by decision.
Mcknight trying to feed that left jab to set up a right hand of his own.
Nice boxing by Mcknight. Little lateral movement, not getting trapped on the ropes. You don't want this guy to settle in and pick his shots on you up against the ropes. You want to fight this guy, Phil Jackson, in the middle of the ring.
Jackson's record at 38-5. He started his career with 25 state wins, starting back in 1988. So he's been around 9 years, a crafty ring veteran. Mcknight at 26, now fighting in his 33rd professional fight. They have been busy in their careers.
It's such a cornerstone fight for both fighters, though, here. You know, Jackson beating Mcknight puts him right back into the picture. And Mcknight, if he beats Phil Jackson here tonight, he's really ready for bigger and better things. And we'll see him on a big network in a big heavyweight boxing fight.
You know, with just that said, Bob, you talk about the importance of a fight. Not only is it a good fight for both fighters, but the opportunity to step up for bigger and better things. And Cedric Kushner's put them together in the ring tonight.
One very nice thing Keith Mcknight just did on the inside. He opened his glove and placed it on the chest and the neck of Phil Jackson to keep his position in there. Very important defensive technique by Mcknight. Shows a well-schooled fighter. You can use those open hands on a guy, you know, break his rhythm, break his balance, break his ability to punch from that set.
Closing seconds of the 4th round. Action Jackson slowing down, but maybe trying to pick it up near the end of the round to influence the judges. We have dialed in a couple of good fights tonight, certainly our co-feature. And now the feature event back into Mcknight's corner
You got a
here.
left hand like nobody when you use it. But you're sitting there posing. You can't sit out there and wait on this guy. You can't wait on him. You got to, hey, you got to go out there and hit him. You ain't hit it, you didn't hit
Good
it.
advice from Kerry Farr in the corner of Keith Mcknight. He told him, hey, don't wait on this guy. You got to get off first. Box this guy. You can poleaxe him with that jab all night long.
Left hand side to side. Let the hands go. He can't box with you. He can't box with you.
It's probably a good assessment there. And the fact this kid's got some good skills. This kid's a boxer, more a puncher boxer. Intently getting his instructions, heading out for round number 5. 4 great rounds and more to come. We're at the Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee for the heavyweight explosion for round 5. Set for 10. And if our first co-features any indication, it went right down to the wire at the end of the 10th. We may be heading for the same scenario here. Mcknight in the maroon and Phil Jackson in the black and gold.
I've got the fight dead even right now. 1 round for Jackson, scored 10-7, and 3 10-9 rounds for Mcknight. You know, one thing about Phil Jackson is in this very economical work rate that he has, when, you know, Mcknight gets into a flow of, hey, this guy's not going to throw any punches, and then when the guy does throw some punches, he surprises you with them. So you got to be alert at all times. When Jackson just worked a power jab there a couple times, he hit Keith Mcknight with it, but he's just been too economical with his punches. He's not letting his hands go.
And he gives Mcknight an opportunity to box from the outside, exactly what his corner wanted to do. There's
See that
Jackson
jab,
on
and
the
Jackson
left.
works great. He just won't let it go. If he starts to, other things will come from that.
There he had Mcknight sit up for the right hand, but never pulled the string.
Keith getting closer and closer to those ropes where he doesn't want to be. He wants to be, he's got beautiful pivot and quick feet. He wants to use those. Don't let this guy pull him into the corner where he can't back up.
Big right hand by Jackson off the midsection of Mcknight. Phil Jackson got knocked out in the first round by Jeremy Williams in his last fight in February. Was he just not ready for that fight, Bob?
Well, hey, listen, Jeremy Williams is a very quick heavyweight, and he's done that before. He's been on the highlight films for catching guys cold in the heavyweight division. Jackson was very prepared for that fight. He had his weight down. He was in tip-top shape. And when it went like that, you know, that's when you really start wondering, hey, am I made up for this business? Is this just not my time? You know, not my line of work. I better get into something else. But obviously, he's in good shape for this fight. He's coming to fight. But McKnight's letting him know. McKnight's letting him know. Look, I will not go quietly.
Drop! There you hear on the far side, Kerry Farr working the corner again of McKnight. Jackson 8 months ago again went down in the first round, but he's rumbling on in round 5 here. 40 seconds to go in the round.
First time Jackson's turned up the heat since the second round.
Good combination by McKnight. Jackson tried to shake it off, but he got hit with all 3 punches.
Nice uppercut. Keith tried it, missed, but you got to try it.
What a recovery by Keith Mcknight. He was as close to being out of a fight as anybody could be in the second round when he got clocked twice with a right hand by Phil Jackson, but he battles through 5. The crowd looking on here in Nashville, Tennessee. Neil Van Horn has put together the boxing community back in the downtown Municipal Auditorium here tonight.
Believe I'm telling you the truth. Look, you can't win on him. You got to go out there and put him on defense.
Lovely young ladies keeping us straight on what round we're heading to.
What up? How you play? You put a pressure. You put in the corner. You put in the corner. You hit it. You don't hit it, you lose. Everybody's waiting there. Everybody, why you lose? We'll see you here. You understand to me?
We have not brought a helicopter in with our sky cam working tonight in that corner, but right down at ringside, take a look at McKnight going to work. See Jackson try to shake that off, but he got hit.
No, that was the best combination of the round for Keith McKnight. It was 5 punches in that combination.
This is round 6 of the main event of the heavyweight explosion tonight. Sam Smith along with Bob Spagnola. Thanks for joining us on the Cedric Christian Network. Around the world with a heavyweight explosion. Keith McKnight in the maroon. With his back to you is Phil Jackson. His nickname is Action. He showed it in the second by putting McKnight down twice. But now it's been McKnight who's recovered from round 3 on.
Jackson's shortening up the distance here, Sam, and McKnight needs to be aware of that, as he can explode right into you with either that hook or that right hand. Jackson shortening up the distance, but he still, you know, he moved his hands a little bit more in that last round, and it was close, but I still gave it to McKnight. Phil's got to do more. His corner's telling him, too, hey, you got to move your hands.
Closing in on a minute deep into the round. You see that good crisp left jab of McKnight. Look at the right hand of Jackson right behind it, though.
He tried to come right over the top of that, and if he had landed that, it would have been tough for McKnight to recover, but he slipped it just to the side.
Let me clarify the 3 knockdown rule. All 3 must come in a single round. You say, well, McKnight's been down twice. No, it doesn't count that way. He's got to go down 3 in a single round. But he was down twice and on the verge of going out in the second. Good crisp left jab again, Bob, by Jackson.
Yeah, but McKnight's the one whose power jab is really working right now. But that's what Jackson wants to do. He wants to parry that jab. A little bit of low blow there. He wants to parry that jab and come with his right hand.
Mcknight has lost only once in his career. He did that in August of '94, right after he got started as a pro. Lyle McDowell knocked him out in the second round. Almost a little deja vu of what happened in that one here tonight, but he recovered in that fight, or in this fight. He didn't in that one, his only loss. Both fighters trying to work in behind jabs now. There's that 1-2 combination by Jackson. Mcknight hanging on.
I knew this would be a test for Keith Mcknight coming in here. Whether or not he'll pass it still remains to be seen, but he's certainly right in here. And if he wins this fight, Sam, he's really going to come up, because not only did he win it, but rather than winning by first-round knockout in sensational fashion, there was ebb and flow to the fight, and that's more important for the maturing process of the fighter than anything else. Nice uppercut by Mcknight. You got to mature. You got to be in those tough fights in order to get ready for the next level in this sport.
Mcknight flipping out that left jab, still looking to throw the right hand as we near the end of round 6. A fight that has gone back and forth, and right now it continues to be a little bit in the favor of the hometown Mcknight. Little frustration probably setting in some respects, even though I think, and you pointed it out in the third, Jackson didn't do enough to finish it off in the third after he got him in so much trouble in the second.
It's hard, you know. Like I said, Phil Jackson is a puncher, and you know, when you drop a guy with a clean shot a couple times, it's tough not to think, hey, I'm going to get him again with that. And sometimes you get a little complacent.
You lose. You don't win this.
Right,
You round, you lose. You didn't win this. You don't.
Work the body now. Work that body.
They're almost saying if you don't win these
You leave
3
the body
rounds,
wide
we're
open.
out of this
You
thing.
leave the body wide open.
Good coaching in the corner of Phil Jackson. Carlos Alvear giving him good advice in there. Might not be what he wants to hear, but it's the right advice.
So if he's looking for a button to push, he has pushed it. This is round 7 of a scheduled 10-rounder. Phil Jackson with a black in the goal against Keith Mcknight. A heavyweight explosion main event that has been everything billed on paper and more.
Good work in the corner by Carlos Alvear. He's not, he hasn't got a real big name in boxing, but he's got 2 real good heavyweights right now. Shannon Briggs is going to be fighting George Foreman, and Phil Jackson, and he's doing a real good job in the corner with his fighters. He grabbed Phil Jackson by the ear and nearly ripped it off there at the end of that in-between round session. Let him know, wake up, son, wake up. You got to make something happen.
Jackson trying to walk in to try to throw the jab. You see him flipping it out, looking for the right hand. Mcknight cautious of that. Mcknight again, the taller of the two, with a little better reach advantage. You see Carlos sitting on the far side. Carlos is in a little verbal battle going with some of the nearby ringside fans as well. So not only is he trying to concentrate inside the rope, he's got some conversation going on outside as well.
You can't worry about that. You got to leave that alone. They paid their $20. They can say whatever they want. You got to win this fight.
Flipping left jab of Mcknight. Jackson again, very economical with punches here in the 7th round. Bob, you've done a lot of fights around the world as you and I have been together. Mcknight was as close to being out of a fight as anybody we've seen. If he comes back to win, what a marvelous return.
No, and you know what I loved about him is here he is in front of the hometown fans, and you can't help but be a little macho in a fight like this. He gets dropped by this guy. Rather than jump right up to fight, he took that count on his knee. The second time he was down, he took a long 8 count because Jackson didn't go to the neutral corner, and it's a sign of a very mature fighter the way Keith Mcknight handled that adversity. You don't train for what happens when you get knocked down in a fight. You don't want to think about negative things, but he really handled it very well in this fight, and so far it's been the difference between getting past the 2nd round and not.
Couple of fighters exchanging right hands before they're broken again by Danny Jones, that has not had to work a lot since the early part of the fight when he had the 8 counts on Mcknight after getting knocked down in the 2nd round. You can see a little blood starting to ooze from the nose now of Mcknight. Jackson starts to stalk in again. Flipping the jab to the body. Mcknight trying to feed him the left glove on the jab. Exchanging left jabs, one upstairs for Jackson, the other downstairs for Mcknight. It's almost like both fighters here, Bob, are just kind of waiting to throw one big punch.
Right. But the whole time that, unless Jackson hurts him, which he just did right there, then Mcknight's in charge of this fight.
Couple of right hands, a left hand by Jackson. Now the swelling under the right eye of Mcknight. A right hand again by Jackson. And Mcknight again was in trouble again at the end of the round.
You're at home, son. You're at home. You're at home. You can't wait till tomorrow to start fighting.
Interesting comments. You're at home.
Well, listen, it's very important. You know, he's going to win this fight here in Tennessee, which he's supposed to. This is his home, okay? Jackson's almost got to knock him out at this point in the fight to win it. Although I gave Jackson the last round, he can't only one other than the second.
Look, you got 3 rounds. You got to go out there and box. You go on your toes. You got to box. You got to
Get out. You understand to me? You lose the fight. You lose. Everybody's waiting there. What you want to win? No. You need to win. You need to win this fight.
All right.
What will you have? You have power. What do you want? Hey, no.
And maybe probably the most stiff punches that he's taken all night long. You see Jackson again, another staggering left hand, but Knight able to save himself. His crowd in Nashville, Tennessee has been delighted through 7 rounds, and here's round 8. The explosion tonight. Sam Smith, Bob Spagnola, thanks for joining us. Mcknight in the purple, Jackson in the black and the gold. Mcknight off the canvas after being knocked down twice in the second round.
The other thing you got to worry about right now from Keith McKnight's team is, you know, you use up so much energy recovering from those knockdowns, which he did brilliantly in the second round, but how much gas is there in the tank? Does he have it left to finish strongly here in this fight? He just can't relax and let Jackson land that big bomb. He relaxed a little bit in that last round. He slowed it. As you can see, he's covered with water. They've been working him with ice. They had to. You usually don't do that till later in a fight. Use the ice and so much water on a fighter, but when he was hurt like he was, they had to let him recover. Will he be in enough condition to survive these last 2 rounds of a pretty tough pace heavyweight fight?
Jackson continues to bob and weave. Good combination by Mcknight. Jackson comes back with a right hook, a left hook. They exchange punches here in the round.
Oh, Keith McKnight pulling out off his stops here. In there exchanging punches with Phil Jackson, getting some and giving some. Oh, nice uppercut.
Uppercut. Jackson may be in a little trouble. He's just trying to shake it off.
Excellent advice to McKnight in the corner by Kerry Farr. He said, you're at home, son. You just box all night with this guy. But you got to let it go. You got to move and turn crisply. And that's just what he's doing. McKnight looks fresh in this round.
Mcknight trying to flip the jab out, but not much with it. Still cautiously watching for Jackson as he comes in on top of him.
Jackson, when McKnight's back hits those ropes, Jackson ought to jump right on him. He's waiting way too much.
A minute to go in the 8th.
When McKnight's behind, hits those ropes, Jackson ought to be jumping on him.
Uppercut by Mcknight just missed. May have been deflected somewhat by the right hand of Jackson. Good combination by Mcknight. Jackson's been able to weather some pretty good punches here in this round.
But he's waiting, Sam. He continues to wait. He smiled at Mcknight there, and Mcknight knocked his head back with a jab.
Mcknight truly boxing well here in the 8th round. Sticking the jab, keeping out of range of the left jab thrown by Jackson. Not giving him a chance to measure him again. Closing seconds of the 8th. 2 more rounds if they go the distance, and Mcknight would love to finish it early, though, as we close the end of the 8th round. Well, the crowd certainly enjoying it at ringside.
What you want, Philip? What you want? Why you don't work? Why you don't work? Tell me, give me. Oh.
bouts remaining.
There's like a plea in that corner going on, Bob. Why aren't you working?
Get on your fighter like that, but he's doing the right thing. Carlos is doing a real good job in this fight. He's, you know, it's tough to take a defeat and turn it into a victory, but you can sit there and coach with your fighter and let him lose gracefully, or you can jump in his behind like he is, slap him in the face, you know, grab his ear, work it, and try to convince him, hey, you're losing. Don't ever tell him, yeah, the fight's close, so on and so forth. He's doing a real good job. He's getting right in Jackson's behind.
And Mcknight picked it up even more in the last round. Good combination. Stagger Jackson with a couple of good crisp right hands. Jackson trying to answer back. This is round 9. Phil Action Jackson out of Miramar in nearby Miami, Florida, where he lives. Keith Mcknight fighting out of his hometown of Nashville, Tennessee. Good crisp combination thrown by Mcknight to open the round.
Nice walk back on his heel, throw a right hand. Nice move by Mcknight. Didn't work, but it's a nice punch to have in your arsenal. Jackson knows where he is in this fight, and so does Mcknight. Both of them know what they have to do. It's just the clock is running on Jackson.
They were pleading with him to try to get the tempo picked up here. Right now he continues to stalk. It doesn't look like he's got the weapons to do anything at the moment.
If I was Mcknight, I wouldn't even worry about winning these rounds. I'd just worry about living through them because he can't lose a decision here. He's got too many rounds in the bank.
Keep in mind, if he does get it by a decision, he will have come from a 10-7 second round and was knocked down twice. And in a fight that stays very close, that is a major hurdle to try to overcome.
But it really hasn't stayed close. And there, Jackson just landed a big right hand on Mcknight.
Right hand. Mcknight, you can see, trying to clinch and hold. He knew he was hurt there. Swelling under his right eye will not be a problem for the fight, but it is definitely swelling more. Jackson throwing a combination as he backs Mcknight around the ring. Big left hand by Jackson. Just missed.
Like I said, if I was Mcknight and his corner's telling him, Mark Crazy over there, tell him, hey, grab this guy. There's nothing to be ashamed of here. You hold this man if you have to.
Mark Crazy, a former middleweight contender himself, working in the corner, along with Kerry Farr, as we mentioned a moment ago. Big left hand just caught by the gloves and off the shoulder of Mcknight.
Mcknight very alert for that left hook, but Jackson's trying to lull him to sleep, and he's trying to dip down and then loop that right hand. This is just what Keith Mcknight should do. Take your time. Go ahead, hold him. It ain't no shame here, fam. Work that jab, get through this round.
Jackson with a combination.
Vicious hook to the body by Jackson, but Mcknight very well conditioned.
Mcknight wants to get this crowd electrified one more round. He appears he's going to have his opportunity to do so as we'll go for the last round.
Nice defensive work by Keith Mcknight.
This crowd was not doing what they're doing right now on their feet in the second round with their man down twice, but boy, they have come back as certainly a helper out in this fight tonight is Phil Jackson. Let's see if they say it's knockout or nothing here.
This last round, let it all go.
Well, they're encouraging here for Mcknight to let it all go in the last round.
That'd be the last thing I'd be telling him right now.
Hey, Box, stay away. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
This is a win.
Keep an eye that did not come from Kerry Farr inside the ring.
Combinations coming.
Combinations, exactly. Phil Jackson has his instruction. Jackson with a big right hand in the last round. Can he find a home for it again? We will find out. 10th and final round. They touch up, and here's the main event finale. Mcknight trying to delight this hometown crowd in Nashville. And the Municipal Auditorium has been a buzz since this fight started. And Phil Jackson, every much the competitor and warrior people expected, and here he comes again.
Keith Mcknight's got a bad habit of taking his right hand and scratching the back of his neck with it. I'd hate to have it see a guy. Oh, beautiful combination by Mcknight right here. Just letting Jackson go, hey, don't you walk in here. Don't you walk in here.
Jackson.
That's the kind of a thing he needs to do. So Jackson can't just walk to him with reckless abandon.
You heard in the corner of Mcknight coming from outside the ropes, let it all hang out and go for it. That probably was what expected from the other corner, as Jackson clearly has to do everything he can in this round to get Mcknight out. He's still not throwing the punches he needs to. Right on the end of a good combination 1-2. Comes back to the body right in front of us. Time becomes the ally now of Mcknight. Only another minute and a half to stay away. There you see feeding that left jab, which he certainly clearly needs to do. Does it again. Just got clipped with the right hand and just missed.
See, now you see the referee standing back there saying break in a very soft tone voice. That's what it's like when you're home. And sometimes you're away, but when you're home, you take advantage of everything that you can.
Digging right hand by Jackson. A minute to go in the 10th and final round. Does Jackson have one big haymaker to finish it? How does Mcknight box his way to a win tonight in his 32nd of his career? Left jabs are good. Nothing behind him by either fighter. Mcknight doesn't need to do it. Jackson does.
Mcknight got himself in a good defensive position here. He's just looking out to get hit with a desperation bomb right now. He got 20 seconds to go, and he's the winner, Sam.
Our co-feature came down to be a great 10-round decision, and this one looks like it's going. It will officially go to the cards. You can't be saved with a bell in any round except the last. And they will fight to the end. The decision goes to the judges. And that's the main event on the Explosion tonight. Danny Jones, the referee in the center of the ring, congratulating both fighters, and rightly so. Phil Jackson has been toiling inside the ropes as a pro since '88, winning 38 fights, losing only 5, but we gave you a who's who of who he lost to. Such people as Razor Ruddett, Lennox Lewis, Chris Bird, and Brian Nielsen. But now he stepped in there with an excellent fighter by the name of Keith Mcknight, and they have really battled toe-to-toe. And what a night it was for Jackson, putting this man down twice in the second. Came within only an eyelash of landing another couple of right hands. Mcknight was able to clearly stay away, survived the round, and came back probably with one of his best rounds early in the third after being knocked down twice. Then took control as Jackson became very economic with his punches. Didn't throw many at all. And with Mcknight realizing that Jackson was just loading for the one punch, he was able to box his way around the ring and maybe to the win. Mcknight again was able to score well. Again, the lead left jab. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then came back with a right hand. That's exactly what he needed to do. And he did it in the final round. Again, feeding that left jab. Look at Jackson. He just can't get anything away because the jab's right in his nose. Good job by Keith Mcknight. 26 years and still learning. Turned pro in June of '92 as a cruiserweight. Got all the way up to number 6 rated by the WBO and then turned to a heavyweight. Well, we've got the cards. Here's Mark Biro with the numbers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Richard King scores it 95-94. Judge Bill Clancy scores it 95-93. Judge Herman Putman scores it 98-95, all to the winner by unanimous decision, Keith Mcknight. Mcknight.
Mcknight winning a unanimous decision. You heard the cards. 95-94, 95-93, and 98-95. Keep in mind, he lost 3 points alone in the second round. He was dominant from the second on after being knocked down twice. A big win for Mcknight. Two things: he has established himself as a guy that can go with an excellent opponent and a guy that still has the class and the style to battle in the heavyweights in Phil Jackson. He came off the canvas, he showed his resiliency, and he showed that he could fight inside of his own control and pick up a win here tonight. Keith Mcknight, 32-1, and comes up with another big win. Bob Spagnola is circling him in the ring. Let's see if we can go upstairs. Bob Spagnola has Keith Mcknight upstairs. Bob?
I'm here with Team Mcknight and these crazy fans here in Nashville. Turn around here for a second for me, Keith. Congratulations. Listen, I think you got more accomplished here in this fight than your prior 32 professional fights. How you feel?
No doubt about it. I want to take my hat off. First of all, I want to say thanks to the Lord for blessing me and giving me the win. I want to take my hat off to Philip Action Jackson. Tough fighter. Gave me 10 hard rounds. Could have went either way, but we got the decision.
Listen, we scored the fight for you fairly easily. He had a huge second round. The one thing I want to tell you about, we talked about it on the air, you never train for what happens when you get hurt in a fight. It's a negative thing, and you don't talk about it in the gym. You took that count there on one knee. You recovered. When he hurt you again over here, he didn't go to the neutral corner. You took full advantage of all the time, and it really made a difference in the fight.
I think so. You know, early in my career, I got beat. I got stopped. You know, I think I could have got up, but I didn't. I learned from it. You know, this right here is just a learning experience, and just thank God and thank my trainers and my hometown.
Hey, it's great to be at home. Big win for you. Excellent performance. Excellent performance.
Hey,
Congratulations.
I'd like
One more thing.
I want to dedicate this to Luther Burgess, who had a stroke, to my manager's wife, who got diagnosed with breast cancer, and to Mike and Tammy Mellon. I hope your son gets better, because God's with y'all. Thank you.
Amen.